Alrighty, hello gamers. Hello. It is time to do something no one has ever done before, at least based on my research. I have not seen anyone do this. I mean, honestly, it's not really going to be that well made, so who cares? But ideally, we're at least going to get a decent prototype today. That's the plan. If I guess we can make the argument we already have a prototype. In terms of visuals, I guess. I mean, it's also really more than this. Let's be real. Not really, right? I mean, it's just a circle and a second circle and then boom. But okay, honestly, I haven't really thought about how we wanna put this into code. I mean, the naive way would be to just handle everything in one event file. I think that's going to be a real bad idea though. Especially if you're going to have to check for every single circle if you like click them or whatever. Actually, does that make sense? Because I think it would be very intuitive to just make a class. And a class represents like one Osu circle. That way we don't like have to... I mean, we still have to like iterate over them, I guess. But I think it could make it more intuitive. The only question would be, how do we have different variations of circles? I mean, I guess we can just have a bunch of parameters. And we have like different presets for circles. Kind of. So it's all just the same class. And then what would the class do? We just give it like a position. We give it the parameters. We do call like some update method. And... I mean, that's about it, right? And I guess we also need a method that checks if we click this thing. Honestly, I'm really not sure if you want to put this into a separate class or not. I probably should have thought about this earlier. I also got some new circles. This one is a little bit thin, so this one is probably not gonna happen. But you know what? Maybe before we think about complicated stuff, let's figure out what we want to do with the circle. So right now it has like a thickness of 10, I believe. Which is kind of thick, if you ask me. Maybe that's just me. But I think it is. Let's see, maybe half the thickness would be nicer. I mean, I've played Osu in a long time. So maybe that's how they do it and it's also really thick, I don't know. Let's see. Gotta start somewhere. Okay, my game crashed. Did I mess up the name? I mean, I guess I did. Outline circle 5? I did misspell it. Be a small L. How about that? And I don't think we need to reload since we only changed the texture name. Or do we? Do we? But actually, I think we... Actually, do we? I mean, let me just read it. Whatever. Because I'm pretty sure if we relog, an event should start immediately. Because rejoining resets the event cooldown. Ah, look at that. Yeah, I feel like that is more reasonable. Or is it too small? Because I mean, the thing is, the circle in the end is going to be smaller than this. It's going to be way smaller. Well, let me just check. How much do we scale it down right now? 0.2. So 1/20th. No, not 1/20th, 1/5. So this circle is 100 by 100. You know what? If that's the case, I should probably make new circles. Because right now the circles are like 500 in circumference? No. It's not radius, it's the other thing. What's the other thing? I don't know. Where is it? So we do have a little Python script that just makes the circles for us to make my life easier. So we can just make one at 100. Let me just see if we do thickness 5. Okay, got it. Huh? What's happening? Okay. Circle. Boom. Boom. Bam. They do look very small, but they should be. So I think it does make sense to at least make sure that like the base texture we're dealing with is kind of at least very similar to what it's going to be in the end. I think that would make sense. Okay, that is way too small. Also, it's not solid. Wait, why is it not solid anymore? Even though I guess if we spawn like 50 of those on screen, the size is actually fine. But we're probably not gonna spawn that many. Oh, why is it so small? Did my math not math right? So the one before had a radius, or is it radius? Actually, no, I think it's a radius. Wait, let me check again. It is radius. So the one before had a radius of 500. And we used 20% of that. Which is 100, is it not? Am I crazy? Oh wait, I'm stupid. We're still using 20% of that. There should be 1. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Okay, so this now should have the same size as before. I'm thinking, I'm hoping. Oh my, why is it so thick and it's still... Was it hollow? Why is it hollow? I'm using the... But it's not hollow though. Ah, we're using the outline here. Ah. We need to use this one. Okay, but the line is still too thick, the other one. So I think we're just going to grab the one that has 5, which means we need to make a new one. It's a bit stupid that we can't do them separately, but... Actually, no, this one is already 5. But it should be fine. No. Even though we may need to make the solid circle a bit thicker so that the line goes like into it, but actually... I mean, looking at this, maybe we do take the higher resolution one and just scale it down. Because I really don't like the aliasing on that. You can see every single pixel on that. It does look worse. Oh, I deleted that, didn't I? Oh, I did. Can I get that back? Why did I do that? So it was 505, I think. I have so many circle files now. Yeah, crash. Sure. And then we need to change this back to 0.2 and 0.4 to 0.2. Okay. And it should be same as before. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I think this looks way smoother. I think it does. Yeah, I think it looks better. Okay. So I still haven't really decided if we want to make a separate class or not, man. I think so. If we make a separate class, it's gonna be separate of like all the Terraria stuff. So I think the main reason why I want to do it is just for the collision. But I guess it doesn't really matter if you call a method on the object. Or you know, actually I think it's nicer. Yeah, let's make a class. What do we call it? Circle. Circle? The thing is, I don't want to call it Osu because I I don't want to get sued for like stealing the name. Circle, clicking circle, shrinking circle. That's the name, doesn't matter. We can change it all the time. Shrinking circle. What a beautiful name. Okay, what kind of parameters is this thing gonna get? So we will need some scale parameter, definitely. Because we will want to have some that are bigger or some that are smaller and all that stuff. Probably some type of speed parameter, like how fast the other one is shrinking. We do want the color. Which is not this one. I think it's this one, right? I think it's the Microsoft one. It is, yeah, okay. What else do we have? We do need a position. That would help. So we put it somewhere. It's gonna have a certain color. It's gonna have a certain speed. And it's gonna have a certain scale. And I think that's about it. Okay. Then we need to draw this thing somehow. Obviously. And what does it do? It definitely needs a sprite batch. And it's just gonna do the exact same thing that it always does. Okay. We should probably hardcode the textures in here. Yeah. So name. Actually, no, that's a path. I really can't wait to change like every single string in my mode when I actually give this mode a proper name. It's gonna be great. Okay, so we draw the solid circle. At the position. Do I have to do this dot position? You don't, okay. Interesting. Maybe it's just a Python thing. What was this? I think this was the rectangle. Which honestly I forgot about again what the rectangle does, the source rectangle. Color is gonna be color. We specify. I think there's like rotation. Oh, there shouldn't be a path. We actually need to grab the texture. Yeah, that would help. Okay, then we have this one. And we're gonna do the same for the outline. Actually, I mean, I can just copy paste it. I mean, it's gonna do the same thing for the most part. Okay, color, I think what we're gonna do, it's gonna be... It should be between white and transparent. I'm not sure, can I actually add colors? Like, and like, stuff with that? Can I like divide by 2 and stuff? No. That is unfortunate. I mean, I guess we can just interpolate. And this is like a half transparent color, which there probably isn't. The issue is I feel like making my own colors, that like never works for me for some reason. Well, I can't even check. What? Why can't I check stuff? Okay, let me reopen this. That's a bit weird. Come on, Matt. Refresh, please. Okay. So 0 is transparent. Okay. Let's see. I think it's not gonna work. So there should be a white that's like 50% transparent. I don't know if it's gonna work. Oh yeah, we also need to give this thing a duration. I'm in the wrong file. That's smart. That's very smart. What is this? Bro, what is this, man? Okay, you know what? I don't even care if the indentation is wrong everywhere. You know, I don't understand why. Okay, I mean, there's like some hotkey to fix it, I'm sure. So we know how long it's gonna last. We also need to know what time it is currently. Oh, okay, or you know, maybe this pissing me off, kind of. Why does it do that? Let me check. What's the hotkey? I'm sure there's a fancy hotkey. There it is. Okay. It's Shift Alt F. Of course it is. Okay, so we want to go from 0 to the duration based on time. And then this thing also needs an update method. Which I don't know what it's gonna do, but it definitely needs to check if we clicked. Need to update the time. But we can also check if we clicked there actually. That would make a lot of sense. Right? I think it would, yeah. Okay, so all we want to do in this class, we need a list of our little circles. And I guess what we could do in theory, we make this list a tuple instead of just having your circles, it's a tuple. And in the beginning, we already set all the times at which the circles are going to spawn. And then we're only going to update the circles, and I call that draw methods, if it's time for them to draw. I feel like that does make sense. Okay, I think for now we're good if you just draw something for now. So just make one circle. That's an idea for later. So make a new circle. Let's say it's gonna last. It's actually gonna be a bit complicated. Because if we, for example, say it lasts for 2 seconds, we can't just say that the outline circle also takes 2 seconds to come in, right? Oh, actually, question is, do we wanna combine duration and speed? Because I mean, they are kind of correlated, right? Actually, we probably don't want to set a duration, only a speed, actually. Yeah, I think that makes way more sense. Okay, so we need a scale. I think we use 0.2. Speed, let's do 1. I don't know. Color. We need a better color. Blue violet. Sounds fantastic. In position. I mean, let's just keep doing it above the player. Oh, the issue actually is we need to put in the screen position here already. Yeah, because otherwise we'd put it in world space, not in screen space. There's no more duration. That's an issue. Okay, let's just hardcode it for now. Whatever. So, position. Let's just say again, somewhere above the player. Like 100 units above the player. Actually, maybe 200, because circles are kind of big. And I mean, that should not do anything, because we never call the draw method. Yeah. Okay, now we should at least see it. Or maybe not. Yeah, there is no circle. That's an issue. Okay, let's do 1. So we had a circle in the beginning. And we do try to draw it. I mean, it seems right to me. Yeah, I mean, we make a circle and we draw the circle. I mean, it's that simple, really. Okay. So we are getting in there. That's a good sign. Did I mess this up somehow? I mean, unless you're telling me I'm like not allowed to call sprite batch methods when I'm like outside the any Terraria related class. Even though this one is also not Terraria related technically. So that shouldn't be it. Is there any chance like the position is wrong maybe? There's no way, right? Let me just see. If we go back and we just draw it manually outside again. Wait. We don't offset it, right? No. Just assume it's always a screen position. That's constant, which it should be. Oh yeah, that's fair. I deleted them already, man. It's such a weird issue already. I mean, I was expecting a lot of weird issues, but not that early, I'm gonna be honest. That's like the easiest part. But there's no circle anymore, man. Where's my circle? Huh? Where did it go? Oh. Oh. We never even consider what a player is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll just put it like at the edge of the wall probably. Makes sense. There it is. Look at this thing. It's beautiful. Okay, so we have that. And we can easily add a bunch more if we want to. Cool. Now, next step is the shrinking in a proper way. Which we're probably going to do in the update method. Right? Yes. Yeah. Okay, so what exactly do we do? So the shrinking needs to be dependent on the speed. No matter how we want to do it. But since we do that, we can't use lerp, can we? I mean, I guess... If we assume that a speed of 1 means it shrinks by 1 frame or by 1 pixel per second, There's probably a way to use lerp. Wait, let's see. If we so we want to interpolate scale. Okay, honestly, why is this so small, bro? Okay, so we started our... Oh, we need to remember the initial scale, don't we? Yeah. It's annoying. I mean, I guess we can just set both here, right? But can you set multiple? Is that a thing? No. Okay. That's fair. Okay, and what does this one do? This one goes from the... Oh. Do we need two different scales? Does it mean the circle, the solid circle, should always have a constant scale, right? It shouldn't really change. So this one should have the initial always. I guess it would make sense if the other one always just starts at 2 times that. Which is the oh, no. Okay, I got it. It's just the current scale. Which we change in here using something like this. This one goes from 2 times the initial scale to the initial scale. And based on what? And we somehow need to factor in the speed again. I mean, what would be nice if whatever function we figure out here, if we go from 1 to 2, it should grow twice as big, right? Because the speed is twice as big, yeah. What kind of function does that? So we need to use time and speed somehow. How do I even explain this to my man, to my G? Okay, wait. I want to interpolate scale of an object. Okay, let me just get the context, honestly. It's probably easier. It's gonna be like some super easy function, I already know. Okay, let's see if that makes any sense. Okay, so he does predetermine the time it's gonna take, which I guess makes sense. I mean, yeah, we kind of need to define that. That's true. Then he clamps it to 0 to 1. I mean, it makes sense, yeah. You know, why do we even need to clamp here? Time divided by duration. Do we ever need to clamp? Like, I mean, this term obviously can't ever go negative. When does it go below, above 1? If this is greater than this, right? Yeah. And if time is greater than duration, actually we don't want to clamp it, because it should also go into the circle a little bit, and then shortly after we delete the circle. Okay, so we need to define the duration. Makes sense. The only question is like what the base time is gonna be that we're gonna assume. Maybe just 2 seconds for now. See what happens. Yeah, it should be an end. And since this is an end, this is an end. Okay, there's always gonna be an end. Yeah. Okay, let's just see if that does what we wanted to do. So the scale is 1, I believe. So it should take at exactly 2 seconds. Maybe not. What if we make it longer? What if we say 5 seconds? Does it mean, you know, maybe the game started running while we weren't fully loaded in and then it just finished instantly? I mean, I don't know. Could be. No. Interesting. But again, speed is 1. Yeah. So 300 divided by 1. Duration is going to be 300. And then time divided by duration gives us the percentage how much we are at like this final duration when they're going to connect, right? Okay, I mean, I highly doubt that it's like an issue that we load in the beginning. I highly doubt that's it. But I'm not really seeing what else is wrong here, to be honest. Yeah, that's just how it is. Wait. We never even called this. I mean, that would help if we would actually call it. That would help a lot, wouldn't it? So we are just drawing it at the initial scale. Yeah, okay, that actually made total sense, yeah. Is it getting small? I don't even know. I don't think it is. Oh, okay, it's not. We do increase time though. And duration, we never changed that, no. Okay, so let's just see. Every time we draw it, right? What does the current scale say? Like ideally, it's gonna show a number from 0.4 going slowly towards 0.2. But I mean, if it does show that, then I mean, it should draw it. Okay, just 0.4. Okay. Is it an... No, it can't be an end. Integer division. Okay. I hate this so much. Bro, at least once every coding stream, we have an integer division problem. There it is. Look at that. Wow. And then when it connects, boom. It's gone. Alright, cool. And if we lower this... Maybe, you know what? I think something like 5 seconds is a good default time. I think we're never going to make a circle that's small, slower than that, even though we could. We can always make things faster. Maybe that's a start. You know, it keeps shrinking. Which is fun. Okay, fantastic. Now, we need some kind of logic that we can actually click on the circle. You know what, now that I think about it, should we make it that the player actually has to click on it? Only... How do I say it? Like, does he have to click it or can he also hold it? Because that's a big difference. Because, for example, if we say holding counts, you pretty much always have to avoid these circles if you have like a weapon that you just always hold down, right? Because I don't want to press it too early. But okay, we can think about that. It shouldn't make too big of a difference for the implementation. Okay, we need to know something about mouse coordinates, which we did before in here. But actually that was like a better way of getting the mouse position. Wasn't that like main.mouse cage color? There's mouse X and Y. Cool. And now we want to figure out, for starters, is the cursor in the circle? which we can just do by some simple distance calculation, I think. At least I would hope so. Click of mouse is in circle. Right, because all we want to do, we want to check, is the distance from the cursor to the position of the circle, which is the middle point, is that distance less than the radius? Right? Yeah. Okay, so from mouse position to the position of the circle, get that distance. And if the distance is less than the radius, then we print in circle and we're happy. Okay, we obviously don't know the radius, which is fine. Because we can just calculate it, right? Wait, I just realized there's some gaps on the side. But is this the one we're using? It is. Why are there gaps on the side? Because then we can't really use the texture. I mean, I guess I can just hard code it. Because I know the radius. Okay, we figure this out later. And that should be the detection, if we're there. And I guess if this works, we can try what happens if we calculate the radius. Oh, okay, it doesn't really work. Oh, because it takes the original radius. Ah, yeah. Makes sense. We of course need to consider the radius scaled down. Because the circles can have different sizes based on how we declare them. And then it should be accurate. Yeah, if you look in the chat, as soon as we hover over, we're in a circle. Also, what is this other stuff? This. Ew. Okay, that's all the collision detection. And I think this is way cleaner than just doing this all in one file. And doing like this collision manually. Okay, I guess you can't really tell it apart though if that's the only thing that's being printed. But okay, should work. Cool. And in reality, what we probably want to do, we need to check if we are on the circle and if we're clicking or holding. And then based on that, we return if we made it in time or not in time or whatever. Something like that. Hey Purple, hello. Hi. Making Osu today. In Terraria. Because that's fun. Even I still feel like this line is not transparent at all. Even though it should be. I mean, we're still figuring out the basics. Like, it doesn't really matter how big it is. Where's the transparency again? Okay, fully transparent is 0. Which is like 30. It just doesn't go transparent. And let me guess, if I actually use the transparent color, it's gonna be transparent. Died in the end, unlucky. That's why I usually go into the end with like my worst stuff. There's no goddamn way I'm dying with my best stuff. Hell no. It's unlucky though. Okay, what if you do this? Am I allowed to interpolate? Oh! That does work. That looks way better. That looks pretty nice, does it not? Holy. It seems like you're dying a lot, man. Better be careful. The thing is... Actually, what will be the next step? I mean, probably the checking if we click on a circle, probably. Which I think for now we check if we just hold the button, because it's way easier to implement. Or did I remember back then? Oh no, we need the typing event. Okay, we get the list of all the current things we press. Actually, wait. Wasn't that like a method, like main.left? Mouse left? Oh. I mean, let's just see what it's gonna do. And just to make the messages unique, we will put like random numbers in. So that we can't tell otherwise. Random... I don't know, random number 0 to 9, who cares? Wait, why is this orange? Oh. I would assume this still just checks for holding, not for clicking. But I think doing this is gonna make it way easier. Oh yeah, it checks for holding. But okay, that makes my life way easier. And also, was there like a 1 that remembers the last frame? Oh no. Maybe not. Oh, it remembers the last coordinates. Thick mouse. What was a thick mouse? Ah. But okay, for now it's good enough. We just check for holding. Or do we go to clicking? I mean, technically clicking shouldn't be that hard. I mean, all we need to do is we need to check what was the state last frame? Like last frame, it had to be false. This frame, it's true. That's pretty much all we need to check. Mouse click. Last frame. Okay, so we update the last frame, and then what do we want to do? So we need to be within the circle with our cursor, and we need to click mouse left in this frame, and we didn't click left mouse button last frame. I think that makes sense. Honestly, that makes it so easy checking for clicking. I mean, it would be nice if there was like a given method for that. Okay, it doesn't even work. Why? Sure, man, get your wings. Oh, because that makes no sense. That is why we need to do this. Ow. Okay. And then now I'm holding. Nothing happens. If I click. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Okay. Now we need some way of telling the outside how well did we do clicking on that circle. The thing is, would we take the distance or like a percentage? Like how close we were? I mean, actually, what would the percent now? I think we just take the distance, right? So we take the distance of what though? It's a bit more complicated, I think. That's what we would need to do. We have a circle, right? And we have a bigger circle around. 1 sec. Okay. So what do we want to do? If we click, we need to, what is this distance here? I mean, ideally it's right on here. And you did it perfectly. Cool. How do we get this distance though? Because we know this distance. Actually, no, we don't. I guess what we could do. So we know this position in the middle. Which means we can compute this position by applying the radius. And then we compare this position to this one, which we can compute because we know the scale of the other one. Which I feel like is a very weird way of doing it. It's like the most intuitive way I can think of right now. Okay, so the idea is we need an position. Do we even need a position? Technically, we only need a number, right? Yes, we actually don't need a position. So we imagine we have a coordinate system that goes like this. But this is the origin. Which means this point right here is just the radius. Oh. And what is this point? This point is simply the radius times the current scale. Current scale. Oh, there's probably not a distance function for just two values now. Oh, there is. Oh. Then we get the distance. Solid pause. Outline pause. But I think that's actually it. If no, I don't know. I'm still thinking somehow converting this to like a percentage, like a value between 1 and 0. But I don't know what that would really do for us. I mean, I guess actually it would do something for us, because right now, if we change like the radius of the circle, the distance would also change. Because if we look, if we click, it doesn't fully work. So we want the distance to be 0 when the outline is like under the middle one. But it seems like we compute the distance to the inner circle, or like the middle point. Oh wait, we need to do radius times the initial scale, right? Maybe I should just update the radius in here. I probably should. Oh, actually, does this make any sense then, though? Oh no, we do need the initial. Ah, no, we do need the initial radius. So this should give us the correct radius for both. Yeah. What about that? And again, distance should go from some number to 0 and then to some number again, ideally. Oh, I think that's it. Goes to 0 and then goes up again. Yes. Okay, cool. So now you have some way of quantifying if someone fucked up. Like how off were they? Clicking on the circle. And it seems to go exactly from 100 to 100. It does. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if you want to like convert this into a percentage. Like again, I have the issue. I don't know what this percentage would be based on. I mean, I guess it should be based on the radius of the inner circle of the solid one. You know what? We can actually put this as a constant though. The solid radius. Just radius times initial scale. Okay, makes sense. What's the other one? We have to keep updating it anyway. So what happens if we would just divide this by the solid radius? Yeah. I think that's not really gonna do what we want it to do. Or maybe it does. Okay, that's what we wanted to do. Actually, no, we don't care about like minus. It's like if you click, let's say 10 frames too early or too late, it should give the same result. Oh, bro, I think we're cooking. And yeah, the closer to 0 it is, the more accurate the click was. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now the question is, do we want to like define the success in here? Also, we need to somehow quantify, right? For example, say if you were within 10%, or like 0.1, then you get no punishment. Or do we do it outside? I am not sure, honestly. I'm also not even sure if we want to have this in the update method. I think if this was Python, I would probably keep it here, because we can just return whatever. But we do need to return something here. It doesn't really make sense to like always return a float. So we like what, always return -1. If we click, we return like the percentage. That's a bit odd. I mean, I guess what we could do, we only check here if we clicked on a circle, and if we did, we have like a separate method that gives us the metric. I think that makes more sense. I don't know, click metric or whatever. Okay, and then we check on the outside. If... Or should... I don't know. Should we check it separately? Should we check it separately, man? I don't know. I mean, I guess the class doesn't do that much. I mean, if it's a little bit janky, I mean, whatever. So we're gonna check in here if we clicked, and then outside, if we did get a true back, we just call this. So we get the metric back. But okay, I think that's for the most part it. I guess we can also do some dust shenanigans in here. Do some fancy animations if we want to. Then in the update method, we update every frame. And if we get this true back, we know we clicked on it. Oh, well, what do we call it? Like, I don't know, accuracy? Then we get this. And again, based on that, we need to do something. The thing is also, I don't know, have we decided what we actually want to do as punishment? I think we just do damage, right? So here we just do a bunch of ifs. So if accuracy, for example, is equal 0.2, there's probably no punishment, I would say. Oh, I guess what we could do if it's only in the first 20%, right, we're fine. So we don't care. Otherwise, we simply make it scale based on how much you fucked up. Wait, actually this is so evil. What if you actually convert your mess up into actual true damage? Oh, bro, that is so evil. What would the death reason be? Iframe? I don't think they should give an iframe, honestly. No iframe. I don't know. So bad. Yeah, maybe we need to find a better way to punish the player. But it's definitely an idea, what we could do. Even though I don't think it's working. Not really. Okay. Because we never call this. Yeah. That's fair. And now? It still doesn't work. Fantastic. Fantastic. But I mean, this works though, right? That we execute the entire update method and we check if which bow we get back. I think that should work. Would hope so. Is it because I'm in God mode? No. Oh, wait. So this does take percentage though, right? It does do the percentage calculation on its own. So we just put in a fraction. I'm so confused. So we can obviously still detect if we click on it. There's just nothing really happening if we do. Because we returned too early. What? But we did really check, right? Accuracy goes from 0 to 1. If you just bank click. So weird. But why is it so small now? Why is it so small? Wait, do I like divide multiple times? Oh, I do. Yeah, that does make sense. Okay, that should work. And again, if our click is close to what it should be, we should take no damage, otherwise we take increasingly more damage. That was a lot of damage. That was a lot of damage. Okay, maybe we should use an in God mode. Okay, a lot of damage becomes less. Oh, we don't take any damage. And now we do. Bro. We are actually cooking. Even though the damage is maybe a bit much. I don't know if you should get one shot for this event. It is kind of funny now. Maybe we like half the damage. So worst case, you could just get put to half-life. Maybe that's a bit more fair. You know, I guess we can also make this like a difficulty thing. But like we divide by 1 or all the way until 2 if you play on max difficulty. Yeah, it seems a bit more fair. I guess... I mean, we always have these things on screen, right? Because we decided to draw them on the screen instead of in the world. It is kind of hard to mess them up completely, right? I mean, okay. Balance comes later. Okay, what's the next step? Once we clicked, we probably want to have some type of animation. I don't know what's going to look like, but we need something. Something fancy. And then we despawn it. I'm thinking maybe we can do some dust stuff for now. Just put a bunch of dust, see what's gonna happen. I mean, this is always cool. Circle half width. Like, why don't they just call this a radius? And why do you have to need to tell width and height if it's a circle? It's not a circle anymore, man, if these are different. It's a bit odd. Okay. What else? Dust ID, right? With height. I want the perfect dust. For now. I mean, the thing is, bro, I love the fireworks so much. The issue is we're like really limited with the colors. And let's just see. And then what would they fly though? Like inwards, outwards? Actually, let's see what happens if we don't do any gravity. I think this is gonna look so stupid on this though. Let's see. It doesn't even work. Wait, it takes a position first. Wait, it's actually an issue. Actually, no. Actually, yes. That's right. The only position we know in here is the position on the screen. But this one's the position in the world. Which is slightly annoying. I mean, I guess you can just keep putting it in the update method, I suppose. I mean, or we simply give this thing the offset. So we can like recalculate it based on where the player is. Which means in this case... So we need to give it this. And technically the screen position, we don't need it, right? We can just compute it once in a class. I think... Right, I mean, we just have our player, which we actually don't know. Okay. So also need a player reference. Sure. Huh? Oh, where's this uppercase? Ooh. Okay, we know the player. So the screen position is the target player position plus this offset minus the screen position. And then we just have it. Okay, then we can recompute our world position because we know where the player is. And we know what the offset is. And I think we just add the circle coordinates on top. Yeah, because this offset gives us where the middle of the circle is, right? Or not. 52. Huh? What's in here? Okay. Now, how about this? Oh, shit. Look at that. Wow. It's so fancy. It doesn't look great. But I mean, it's a start. Oh, so it's below me now. Yeah, I mean, you gotta start somewhere. I probably would like some wobble or something. Also, when we like hover over it, probably. How would you do that though? I guess you would simply, within like a very short time, like half a second, scale it up a little. Scale it down to smaller than it was, and scale it back to the normal. I guess. Which would mean we need two different scales. Like one for the outer circle, one for the inner one. If we want to do that fancy animation. Which I think is going to be worth it, because right now, I mean, it looks very boring. Very, very boring. But okay. I mean, as long as it works, I mean, I can't complain. And it do be working. Actually works way too well, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, let me do one quick break, then we continue the Spiri. Alright, it appears like I'm still being possessed by demons. If not, man, I actually thought I fixed that. But it's not. Okay, so. We have the circle. And we can click. We want to do some animations, right? To make it look a little bit less static, I guess. I think that makes the most sense. Just add some animations and then we can like spawn more circles with different attributes and stuff. So first of all, we need a second scale, or I guess a third scale even. But I never used the speed. Wait. Wait, we don't use the speed anymore. That's a big issue. But we should use the speed to calculate duration. Ah, we do it here, so we don't need the parameter. Yeah, makes sense. Sure. Yeah. Okay, so scale. We have the initial scale, which is just how big is our circle by default. Current scale is going to be the outline scale. And we need the current solid scale. Oh, this is gonna be messy, man. Okay, now if you do wanna do some sort of wobble. The wobble. What do we need to do? So we need to know when did we initiate the wobble, right? When did we start? When it's gonna finish, pretty much. I don't know, it's called wobble start. Beautiful name. Actually, it's a bit more complicated. Because the question is also, what should happen if someone quickly enters and exits the circle? Like, should it just always finish one animation or should it go smoothly to the next? I mean, ideally it's smooth. I think it's gonna be way more complicated. Oh, I guess what we can do, we can simply call this every single frame. And, okay, let me maybe have like a little visual section here. Otherwise there's no way I'm gonna know what any of these do. Okay, so if we hover over it, we want an effect to happen, right? So we only care about the first part. Let me do this. And then if the rest is the case, you do the rest. Makes sense. Okay, then now we know the time at which the wobble has been initiated. And since we call this every frame, we kind of need to check if we actually wanna shake, right? So if the current time is, do we also define an end time? Let me just do that, so I don't always have to add plus 60 or whatever. But yeah, I would say it's just 1 second for now. Okay, if time is greater than the time where it should end, then we have nothing to do. Otherwise, we can only take 3 sections of this animation, right? Because if you imagine this is our circle, what it should do for a little wobble, it should go a little bit in, then out, then back in, right? At least that's what I'm thinking. So you have like this little boing, which I think is going to look horrible if you use linear interpolation, but hope we can make it work. So we need 3 sections. Which is actually kind of annoying. So if we do a little time scale, we have the start and we have the end. Right, so we have like a shrink, then a grow, and then a shrink again. And these 2 positions are... What are these times? I always suck at this type of math, man. I guess we can just compute end minus start, which is going to give us our 60. Divide this by 3. And we get this. So the second one is at 2 times that. Just to make it more variable. So we know pretty much phase 1 end. Which is again the time it's gonna end minus the time it's gonna start. Divided by 3. Right, so for example, if you have we had 120 seconds and we hover over, the end time is going to be 180. So we divide 180 by 120, which is 60. Divide by 3, we get 20. So you know this is 140. It is going to be 160. So you know phase 2 ends. At... Wait, no, this only gives us the 20. I think I'm making this so much more complicated than it should be, just because I don't want to hardcode stuff. Let's get a phase offset, shall we? Which is this. Phase 1 ends at the start time. Plus that offset. And phase 2 ends at the start time plus twice that offset, right? Okay, way too complicated, but whatever. Then, we need to figure out which phase we're in. Right, so if time is Easiest is to go from latest to earliest, right? So we have to check one condition instead of two. So if time is greater, equal phase 2. We're in phase 3. If time is greater, phase 1. We're in phase 2. And otherwise, we're in phase 1. And we don't need an if here, because we know 100% we're in this range. Otherwise, we would have returned up here. I believe. Okay. So we... What did I say? We shrink. I think this is just gonna look horrible, and it's gonna be a complete waste of time. Oh man, I hope it's gonna look at least decent. I hope so, man. So we want to change the scale, which we also should use. I think it's this, right? Current solid scale, yeah. So we do want to change this by interpolation. So we want to go from the initial. So I'm just going to do it the stubborn way, which means the animation will reset if we hover over it again. Which shouldn't be an issue if the animation is really short, like 10 frames or whatever. We go from the initial scale to, I don't know, that scale times 10% maybe. And we're going from the start time until the end of phase 1 based on time. I think that makes sense. Or maybe I should also define these beforehand. Okay, then phase 2. Wait, so first we shrink, which means then we go from the... There should be min scale. Right, we shrink, we get smaller. Then we go from that smaller state to that bigger state. And we go from phase 1 to phase 2. And this is way too much effort to make like one basic little wobble animation. Okay, and then last thing we go from max scale back to the initial scale. Okay, honestly, I might be surprised if that's gonna work. I might be real surprised. It would be cool. Also, oh, actually the issue is, it's gonna do it every frame we're over it. But it actually kinda works. We definitely need to make it faster. So maybe more like maybe half a second? So if it's really fast, you may not actually be able to... Oh, that's better. Maybe even faster. Or 10 frames. Bro, I think we're actually cooking. Okay. Maybe it's a bit too fast. Maybe 15. How about that? Oh, I kind of like that. Though the issue is always if you're on the circle, it's not gonna work because it keeps updating. Which is quite an issue. Oh, I guess what we could do... The only thing that makes sense, we need to determine once we enter and once we exit. Because no matter what else we do, it's just gonna keep playing the animation. Because we only check if we are in the circle. But we never check if we enter or exit. Okay, it shouldn't be too hard. I mean, actually, we don't need a method for that, because we just do... Or do we do a method? How would it look if we don't? Because we just need to compute this. Right, so we need to define the distance, obviously. Which is this. And then we need the mouse position, which is this. Now, is this unreadable? I feel like it's like on the edge of being readable. But I can simply check this. And we need to memorize what was the case last frame again. It's so annoying that we always have to memorize what we did last frame, man. I hate it. I'm not sure if this is like gonna break if you tap out. I don't think it should. But okay, if we're in here, set this to true. Otherwise, it's gonna be false. And we're only gonna initiate the wobble if we were not in a circle last frame, but now we are. No. We still call the method every single frame, but only if this happens, we set the parameters. Right? I think. Okay, now it's completely broken. I also feel like the clicking kind of broke. At least I feel like I took damage all the time. Am I crazy? Okay, I'm crazy. Just because of the effects. Okay, if because I wasn't... If we weren't in the circle last frame, and now we are. Then we entered. Why not? No, actually, we could also put this in a wobble method. So I really don't like how we have like actual logic and animations like in the same place. I hate that. Okay, we can just put it in here. Let's just see if we set the things right. And we should trigger the animation if we have false true. In that situation, it should initiate. So now it's always false. Now it does swap to true properly. The question is there a frame in between? No, there's not. Okay. So either both are false or both are true. Which doesn't make a lot of sense. Oh, I know why. I think. Because we overwrite the last frame in here already. So we could just do it up here. And then it should be fine. Must we call this one separately, and then this one actually has the value of the last frame. Oh, look at that. So only when we go in. Oh my, I like that. It's so cute, man, is it not? And I feel like the animation is short enough where you don't notice that it's like stubborn, and it just finishes the animation. You know, I mean, we can make it a bit fast, or do we make it slower? I think we tried out 10 before. I think 10 was too fast. Yeah, that is too fast. That feels very unnatural. As we can also like play around with like the bounciness parameters. It's so nice when you have like a setup like that. You have so many magic numbers you can just pull around with. Just see what happens. Yeah, that looks very, very weird. If you do it like that. So it goes out more than it goes in. Let's see if that makes any sense. I don't know, maybe you just stick with the original. Actually, what happens if you only make it like very slightly move? Because I'm thinking it kind of makes the event harder, right? Because that way we can't fully see the edge. So don't know exactly when to click. But it depends on how harsh we measure the accuracy. I mean, you get a little bit of a reaction if you go over it. This is part of our mod. With like all the events we do. That is going to be part of it. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Playing some Osu in the middle of a boss fight. I did. That is the plan right now. Which I feel like so far, I think this is going to be a very fair event. I think. I mean, you just need to click a circle. I mean, how hard can that be? And I guess you almost die if you mess it up once, I guess. Okay, so what's the next thing? We need to make the circle despawn when we click on it. Right, you shouldn't be able to click on it multiple times. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So what we probably want to do, you either click on it, or we call the end method separately from outside or something, when like the circle is in the middle. Then you can click on it, and it goes away. Or something. And right now we just say clicked true and we return that. And if it's true, we can call the end method. But we do need to call it multiple times. So we have the wobble. Do we have like do we make an anti-wobble? To shrink it? We'll just call it despawn. That's probably more intuitive what it does. Okay, if you despawn. I mean, it's probably just gonna get smaller. And then it's gone. Is there something fancy we can do? We could just make it phase into transparency. Ooh. That'd be nice. Okay, so if we despawn, we call the despawn method. And do we care about any other logic? Like, we don't care if we click. Oh, the issue is like this scale. Actually, no. What we could do, if we click on it, it just disappears. Could do that. I definitely don't care about the clicking logic anymore. We just put it here. Oh. Okay. If we're done, we despawn, we get out of here. I mean, it doesn't really matter what it returns. Okay, despawn logic. We should define a despawn time, because that makes my life a whole lot easier. Okay, so what I said, we change color, and it's probably still gonna get smaller. That's probably the most basic thing we can do. Oh, which does mean... But it's so annoying. Like, we need to differentiate between current color and initial color. Oh man, I hate that. Okay, I mean, what am I gonna do? Okay, so we have the current color and initial color. And this feels so wrong doing stuff like that. So go from the initial color to transparency. Based on time. What is that? Didn't I set a despawn time? Not yet. Okay, we can't do that. I should do it in here. Okay, current time plus maybe half a second. Seems reasonable. Wait, but we also need to know the start time now. It's so annoying. Need the despawn start time. It has to be an easier way of doing this. There's no way that's the easiest way of making it that way. I mean, look at all these variables, man. And I was actually thinking of putting all this in like the upper class as well. It would have been awful. Okay, so we go from the start time to the end time based on time. That's our color. And we probably do the same for scale. Which means we go from the initial scale to... Let's just see if 0 is gonna look fine. Maybe we do like only a half or something. And we need to get lerp again. And actually it makes no sense to do this twice. Look at that, that's almost readable. Wow. I think I broke it. Was it getting bigger? Why is it getting bigger? But it also didn't get more transparent, did it? It does not. Huh. Reasonable. Oh, I never set the... Oh. That is quite an issue. If you don't set the time correctly. And now watch this. The perfect despawn animation. Boom. Okay, that's not too bad. Question is, what do we do with the circle? What do we do with that? I mean, you can just stop drawing it. I think it's gonna look a bit off if it just goes away and it's like nothing to indicate it. I mean, I guess you clicked on it. So we say if we despawn, then we just don't draw this anymore. Also, let me see what happens if you just go to, let's say, half scale. It does look a bit off. Okay, I didn't pay any attention to the outline though. I mean, it's already like half transparent, so maybe it doesn't even really matter what you do. I feel like it's fine. Come on, respawn. Come on. I think that is not that bad. Okay. So we have this. I think now we work a little bit on the actual event. Now. First of all, what we need to consider is we will spawn different circles, right? Some that are faster, some that are slower. Which means we can't simply fully randomize the position, always. Because I mean, it could happen that, let's say we spawn a circle here, that's gonna take 5 seconds till it's like in the optimal zone, right? And then we generate another circle on top that's also potentially bigger, that like can obstruct that. Which means we need some type of logic as to how we spawn these. Which, honestly, I don't know if there's a good way. I'm not very sure. I mean, like the easiest way would probably be just dissect this into 4 quadrants. We just choose a quadrant by random, and as long as there's a circle there, we just have it marked somehow that we can't spawn another one there. Then we only have these left. But I think that's not gonna look very nice at all. And I guess you could still have like this issue where it like spawns right here. It's like the middle point is in here, and then you have one spawn here, and it's still kind of overlapping. What am I doing? What the? So it's a bit tough. We need to be smart about this. Smart and efficient. I mean, or do we just spawn them by random? And then we check based on distance afterwards. I mean, to be fair, what are the odds? If you spawn a circle somewhere, what are the odds that the game is going to choose another random position that is, let's say, somewhere in this range? I would say it's really unlikely. However, if we do this approach, we need to spawn them sequentially. Alright, we spawn them one after each other. And I was thinking initially we just determine all the positions and timings in the beginning, which would make this infinitely more complicated. Right, because for example, this right here would be fine if, for example, the left one spawns 10 seconds before the right one. But doing that is... no. It's a nightmare. So I think we just have like a certain percentage for one of the circles to spawn per frame. And then when they try to spawn, they simply check all the existing circles where they are. That seems the most reasonable. And again, we won't have like 50 circles, right? So it shouldn't be that inefficient. Like we used the same logic with like our teleport portals before. And we had like 100 of those. And we kept checking like up to 50 times per portal with every single and it was a mess, but it worked. It didn't lag. But it shouldn't lag. I don't think so. Which means we need a certain percentage. Okay, let me change the name. Will it spawn chance? And since we call this every single frame, if we set this to 1 over 60, that would spawn on average 1 circle per second. So maybe put something like 1%. For now, for testing. And then we need to check if we roll a number that is smaller. Yeah. That is smaller than this. Then we need to spawn a circle. Okay. So now we obviously want to have some RNG. I'm not sure how we want to do that. Once again, we want to have like a couple different variations, right? Some that are faster, slower. Maybe even some that move. Even though we kind of have to implement that. I guess we can just like have an enum of different versions, and then we just define them based on parameters and like a switch case. Let's just make a normal one. We have a normal one, a fast one, a slow one. For now. How do we get this as a list again? Sharp enum as list. Can you just say list? And then put this in. Okay, let's just see if we can work with this. Get values, type of variant. Choose an array. I mean, an array is also fine. And then we can just index it? No. Cannot apply indexing to an expression of type array. Huh? I mean, where else do you use that then, huh? What? Or do we actually have to cast this? Bro, can you give me the right thing for once, man? Okay, can I next it now? 0. No. I do need to also cast this into a list. That is actually the most disgusting line I've probably ever seen in this project. Like, what is this abomination? You're actually telling me I have to do all this mess just to get a list of all the things that are in here. That is insane. That is crazy. Oh my god, what now? Was it next from collection? I always forget which one I should use. It is collection, okay, cool. Okay, if we have a normal one, we do something. Oh, but that's if we have a slow one. And fast one. Okay, if you have a... Was this a normal one? Maybe just hard cold like a default scale. That makes sense. You can actually make this a bit smaller. Sure. Actually, I don't think that... Did I use 0.4 here? It's all variable, right? Yeah. Good. Speed. Should be a parameter? And then what I'm thinking, we just have like just speed. We have like half speed and we have double speed. And so we can balance it. Okay, normal. Well, what could normal be? What is like a normal color? What green? Green sounds normal. And where do we spawn it? Actually, we need to do the position before. Okay, so we want to get our offset. Was there like a random vector? I always forget. Next vector, square. Do I have a random vector? Random vector. And this is a world. It's an offset to the world position. Can I just say plus minus screen width and screen height? That's not notable because it's in a different unit system. I actually don't know. But we can't use this then. Actually, no, I should get some variables. Okay, then go for minus half width to half width. And minus height to height. And now the complicated part. We need to go through all circles and check if the distance to this new position is going to be too close. So we go... Oh no, that doesn't work because it's a void. Is that like an any... Can I use this? I can, right? Yeah. Okay, is there any circle such that if we take that circle... Okay, we need to get the position somehow. Or the world offset. Can I make this... How do I make this like a get? How does that work? Okay. I don't think that works. Because it's private, probably? But why can't I set a getter then? Ah, there it is. Okay. Distance to the offset we just chose. Right. Is there any circle such that we compute the distance between that circle's offset and this new chosen offset, where this distance is... Wait. We want the condition that we have to do this again, so it should be too small. Smaller than... we need to make it based on the radius. Okay, how does this break? Was this not the exact same? Huh? How is this not the exact same as up here? Why, what? Are you not allowed to set it? Or do I set it after? Oh, I set it after. Okay, I didn't know. Okay, and then it's gonna be this in the end, so the actual radius. Okay, so again, we choose a random offset. We choose another random offset. If there's any circle in a list of circles whose distance is less than the radius of that circle. No, I think we may be mixing up different coordinate systems. But if we aren't, I think that should work. And then we should have a valid offset after that. Also, circle speed shouldn't be an int. The duration should be. No? Are you missing a cast? I'm literally casting it, man. Why are you trolling me? Oh, I need to cast the entire thing, that's why. Yeah. Okay, if you have a slow variant, we give it like, I don't know, some blue tone. Sky blue, how about that? Should be half speed. And that's it. And this one's gonna have double speed, and I don't know, it's gonna be red. Indian red. Why not? Oh. Wait, how does he not? How does my ID not see that would work? I guess it's not my ID, it's C#. I mean, I guess it doesn't understand that this is gonna pick a value from the enum guaranteed. Okay, that's not how it works. How do you make a default case? Maybe I just don't need it. Or maybe I do. Case. No. How is it not guaranteed though? It does need a default case. Man, it's so stupid, man. Okay, if it's default case, then I mean, you can't remove it, right? Yeah. Can just like throw an exception here. That's probably not a good idea, is it? Oh, that would actually work though. But I mean, yeah, that this is literally impossible to happen. I'm like 50% sure. Okay, so we should be able to spawn a bunch of circles, ideally. A lot of circles. Hopefully. Okay, okay. What's the rest? Oh! Oh, it ended. Okay, maybe the probability is a bit too low. Also, they're spawning very far out, which I really don't like. So maybe we take like 90% of the screen. How about that? Oh, okay, that... Okay, my game froze. Okay, that is like the big issue with this do while. It's not gonna find a position. So it's literally stuck in an endless loop. Maybe 10% was a bit too much. So you spawn on average, what, 6 circles a second? Yeah. You know, maybe it is pretty stupid doing a do while. I don't know how else to do this though. I guess what, actually maybe what we should do, we do that maybe 10 iterations. If we can't find something, then we can assume there's a lot of circles already, so we just don't even try anymore. I think that's fair. But how do you do this even with a 4? Okay, we just do the casual way. So we generate an offset. Then we check for this. Is that like a not any? No. How does this work? If there's not any, that means it's not for all. Right? Or something? I don't know. Okay, but if that's the case, then we should have a better position. And we can break. And if we don't have one, we get out. I should at least make it that our game doesn't crash based on randomness. Even though that would be kind of a funny event idea if there's just like a percentage chance that the game just crashes. How do you not see this? This always exists, man. Huh? This literally always exists. And this is sometimes why I hate compiler languages, man. I mean, Python literally wouldn't care. Like, I know it's gonna work. But this bozo doesn't. And it's kind of weird how this one has an error, but these ones don't. No, they should be the exact same, or is it just not updated? But then this one. Sure. I mean, I guess what we can do, we can just assign it like an empty vector. I guess. Just to make the compiler happy. Okay. Wait, it's actually kind of hard. They still spawn up like way too close to the border. Maybe it's just that they're just so massive. What if we do like 0.1 scale? But I think we are getting somewhere. Now the colors are still a bit hideous. But outside of that... Wait, it's actually kind of hard. Okay, wait, this is actually kind of hard. I think we need to spawn him really close to the player. Okay, what if we just do it in like the center? I mean, I wonder if we maybe should also change like the outline circle, like the one that shrinks in. To make it indicate that you're supposed to click on it soon. Okay, also we kind of need to increase the duration. I don't like how fast it's ending. You know, bro, like the slow ones, man, they are so slow. Even the normal ones are pretty slow. Dude, I don't understand. Why is there nothing spawning right now? Oh, because we never removed the circles. That's why. Yeah, makes sense. You know what? I should structure it differently. Even though, I don't know. Because right now, how do we know that we're actually done? I guess we can't give them like a boolean. Done. And when are they done? If their time is greater or equal to the despawn end time. It's probably the easiest way of doing it. Right, and then if circle is done, we get rid of it, which means we need to change our loop again. Because we can't do this in a for loop. Or not in a for each at least. Okay. That should hopefully fix that. Otherwise, we still need to like properly implement that if you ignore a circle, that it's just gonna hurt you. And it broke. It just broke. What'd I do? Is this loop completely wrong? Maybe this loop is completely wrong. So maybe we spawn a circle, we just don't loop through it. Alright, let me do some ABC printing. As we do. And my guess is we see A and B, but not C. That's my guess. I'm really good at guessing, huh? How can I never write a reverse loop, man? I mean, if we put one in, right? The count is 1. So count minus 1 is 0. With I equals 0. Is I greater equal 0? Yes. So you should do 1 iteration. Or am I crazy? Is this not the exact same? Or is this not the same? Is that at count minus 1? Greater equals 0, I minus minus. But it's the same damn thing, man. I should tell me we never run into the circle method, which we should, because I mean the spawn chance is 10% per frame, which is really high. Wait a minute, I think we do add them. Yeah, but we do run in here, we just always remove them, I guess. Oh my, because I don't... I'm so smart. We just set this to like, I don't know, like infinity, pretty much. Is that like an infinity type thing? I know NumPy in Python had that. I kind of like that. No, okay. Just to make sure it's always false, unless we set it to like an actual value. There it is. Look at all these circles, man. If not, we do need to change the spawn logic. Definitely. So if we can only have like 3 circles at the same time, that's not a lot. I'm kind of good at this though. I mean, I guess it is really slow. Oh. I don't know, man. It's kind of fun, actually. You know, I'm really bad at it. But I can't imagine this when we actually crank up the speed. Okay, what if we take like half the radius? It should allow a lot more spawn locations. There's a couple more. Okay, but now I feel like the box is a bit too small. Maybe 0.7. Like, as long as they're mainly on screen and not like half clipped out, I think we're fine. Oh my god. What do I click bad? There's so many circles. Oh. This is way too hard, man. Oh man, it's true. Okay, we still need the logic for circles detonating themselves, pretty much. Like, we kind of need to know globally if we ever click that. It's just we can just return it every single frame because I think that breaks stuff over here. So we keep on applying the damage, which is not a good idea. Okay, honestly, I'm starting to hate what I'm doing with this, man. I felt like the clone was somewhat clean in the beginning, but now it's just a complete mess, man. Okay, so when do we know that we're pretty much done? Not based on the duration, right? The done thingy, pretty much. I mean, we can actually make this public as a getter. And setter, I guess. And then... So, update pretty much tells us, hey, we just clicked. Or... if... the circle is done... what would I do? If it's done... can you please not do that? Thank you. If the circle is done, but it hasn't been clicked, then we also do damage. Which is gonna hurt a lot. It's gonna be big damage, yeah. Okay, but that should make it if we don't click them, we do take damage. Or not, I guess. Because they just start to grow outside. That looks like some water wave simulation. It's kinda nice. Oh, and it's all stuck in your screen. $2,000 damage, holy. I don't think you could tank that, man. Wait, when do we... oh, wait, we never... oh, we only set this when we click on it, right? We do... yeah, how do we squeeze that in? So we need to somewhere check if the time of the circle is over. I mean, I guess we can do it down here, whatever. But we... so we can't do this, right? No. So what we need to check is if the scale of the outline thingy goes negative, and then we know for sure that we're done. Why does this thing never pick out the things I want, man? I don't care about any of this. Just pick the right damn options, man. Okay, then we do this. Right? Which should make it that it just despawns instead of going in like a negative scale and just being there forever. Why not? Why not? Honestly, this code is actually becoming so unreadable. Oh, I also just said this, don't I? Even though the issue is... No, that's fine. But we do send the time here, right? It's done, remove it. So it shouldn't get drawn anymore. I'm so confused. What? Why is it not working? Why would it not work? I know it works. We don't take the damage, but at least they disappear. And not clicked. That's what we need here. Okay, maybe that's too many. Hey, we take damage now. But I'm not sure where this number comes from. 220? Oh, I guess afterwards it keeps shrinking during the despawn animation. And if you calculate the damage, then it just goes beyond the 200. It does make sense. Okay. We do lerping here. I guess we can just put it here. Should at least fix that. Honestly, I'm starting to sweat a little. I think this one is actually going to be pretty hard. Depending on how we balance it. Okay, I would say they're still too close though. Maybe half is fine. There's no way this is humanly doable. I kind of wonder, if you're like an Osu god, could you actually do this? I mean, you have so many circles, there's no way you can like know every single one that like spawns when you're gonna hit it, I mean. Because in Osu there's like at least some order, right? But here's just complete randomness. Okay, but I think the overlap isn't too bad. So far, the main thing that I still hate are the colors. Or the textures, however you want to call it. I don't like those at all. I mean, the thing is, I feel like we can't just paint them with one color. Like, we need some actual textures. I mean, or maybe it is fine if we paint it in one color. But we need like some type of patterns. Or something. Also, I think I do want to make them a bit transparent. Kind of how like the outer one is also a bit transparent. Also, I mean, right now, I think this could actually like block boss attacks. Actually, no, it can't. But it's still, it's blocking way too much. Maybe... What, 70%? No, that would be 70% transparent. Maybe 30% transparent. How about that? That's a little bit better. I really need to figure out the visuals more. I mean, I say we are clicking and there's some dust, so that's cool. And we have like the wobble, but like the visuals are... They're not that great. Not a huge fan. Okay, maybe go back to like 1% spawn chance. Which honestly I feel like it's still a lot. Or maybe it's not that bad. But I think honestly the hardest part about this is the fact that like this line is only white. So at some point you just don't realize it anymore. Actually, maybe what we want to do, we want to have like a maximum number of circles. Yeah, makes sense. But can I click on them through inventory? I can. Wow, so well made. But I think that is actually playable. That is kind of playable. Now we do need like more different types of circles. I mean, what like other interesting types we could do? We could do like one that maybe goes towards the player. We could do one where like the outer line becomes transparent more over time. Could do one that's like bigger or smaller. No, first of all, man, they're still way too big, I feel like. You know, they're already only at 20% scale, man. Like, this texture is massive. I think 10% was kind of small. If it's half of that, probably. Yeah, maybe like in the middle. Maybe like 0.15. Ooh, I think what could also be nice if you spawn like light on them. Could be nice. Yeah, I think that's a decent size. Sure. Also, I think we need to change the speeds of some of these. Okay, how do you do color again? Or like light? I haven't used light in so long. Lighting, add light. That's fair. Please tell me I can just put a color in. Torch ID. You telling me I really can't just put a color in? I can put a vector in? What? Nah, man, you guys are trolling. Really? Is that like a color to vector method? I don't know. Oh, there's a to vector method. Oh, thank God. Okay, so there should be a little bit of light. If now, can we like change the radius? I don't think we can. We only have position and the color. I mean, it does do something. It does do a little bit. Not a whole lot, though. I mean, tell me, I have to like iterate over a circle just to like apply lighting properly, man. There's no way. Get the lighting color at a specific tile. But that actually sounds kind of handy. Interesting. So there's actually no radius or anything. No. That's crazy. Oh wait, there's a light amount, but you need a torch ID. Oh, why do you need a torch? Wait, value is greater 1? Oh wait, that's how you do radius. So what if you just do times 10? Just to see what happens. No, we should probably make the radius dependent on something. I just don't know what it would be. Oh, I like that way more. You know, it's kind of lagging behind. I think that's kind of neat. Oh, that's like the same color as the circles? I mean, that's not awful. It's not the worst. Okay, what else can we do? I want to do something with dust. I don't know what though. I still can't really figure out what we want to do with like the way it looks. So I think the easiest thing would actually be to just find some textures, like cut out a circle and use that as my texture. But even then, I wouldn't even know like what type of texture should I look out for. I'm not sure. But okay. Okay, but honestly, I think we made pretty good progress. It's really just textures and more variants, I think. And balancing, of course. Yeah, I think we continue this next time. To be honest, I wasn't expecting to get even half as far as we did. I mean, we have like smooth despawn animations, we have like a little wobble effect, so they're not just completely static. I still like this wobble so much. I like it way more than I should. It's just so nice. It's like you can actually interact with these things, even though you... I mean, it's kinda you can. At least as an illusion. Yeah, I like it. Anyways, we're gonna call it. Thank you all for watching. Have a good night. And I see you all tomorrow. Until then, bye bye.